Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, we're going to react to the intense wildfires that are raging through California right now. So I just woke up and I got a notification from BBC News, Guardian, Daily Mail, about these fires. And it just, as soon as I saw some of the pictures, I was thinking, man, this is insane. The fact that you can go to bed one night, let's say you're living in California, everything's normal, nice night, tranquil, stars in the sky, and you wake up and you look out the window and there's just blazing, roaring fires everywhere. I hope any of you guys that watch my channel, or even if you don't, if you're in California, I hope you're safe. I hope you're away from these fires, and hopefully they get, quenched and ended as quickly as possible.
Fast-moving flames engulfed homes in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood in Los Angeles.
This is raging fires right here.
Dangerously close to others.
And my heart is in my throat.
Firefighters are dropping water from above as a heavy black smoke cloud forms over the area.
Breathing that in has got to be so bad for
as
you.
Residents evacuated on foot and by car. Some drivers stuck in gridlock were told by emergency crews to abandon their vehicles as the flames grew close to the road.
I just leave my car right there. Where's your car? The cops say you have to leave, and I leave my car right there. The fire came right down to the road, and the fire department came up and said, get out of your cars now.
Some left the area carrying their pets in their arms. This woman got a ride from her neighbors.
The fire was all around us, the trees and everything.
Parts of the Pacific Coast Highway and Interstate 10 were shut down to help evacuate those in the fire's path.
Come on, guys!
Jeez.
We gotta go!
It's like they're randomly
ran from the flames that move quickly through neighborhood.
that fire is so isolated. Where did that come from? Embers,
The high
maybe.
winds are forecast to continue for days, producing gusts that could top 100 miles per hour in the hills around the city. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
This is crazy.
I've never seen anything. Fires were this close to the cars.
State of emergency.
People left their cars on Palisades Drive. Burning up the hillside, the palm trees, everything's going. And the wind and the firemen are great, but...
And the wind is blowing the fire even...
But back to our breaking news this hour. Los Angeles is under a state of emergency as firefighters race to stop two fast-moving wildfires. Strong winds in Southern California, they are making the Palisades fire spread at an alarming rate.
Wow.
The concern is that it's going to get even worse on Wednesday, according to fire officials on the ground. Local officials adding that at least 30,000 residents have been evacuated from their homes already.
30,000.
There's concern that there'll be need for more evacuations. The Los Angeles Fire Department is even asking off-duty members to potentially help push.
Jeez, look at the amount of smog over the city. How do these fires... I just hope it's not arson. How do these fires start?
Back some of the flames. In the meantime, the Eaton fire roared to life just a few hours ago, quickly burning an area larger than 150 American football fields. Both fires are at 0% containment so far. CNN has several crews across the region trying to work as safely as possible to bring you the very latest pictures on the ground and the stories of those affected, including from inside the areas torched by the wildfires. CNN's Natasha Chen and her team captured some of this video leaving their location in Santa Monica, California earlier today. With a lot of experience on board, she says that it was, quote,
Is it safe driving a car in this sort of conditions? Because the air will be so hot. Is it safe? The engine and the running engine, fuel,
the most
flammable
terrifying
liquid.
Exit that we've made from any assignment in a long time. Here's more of what she saw.
We were there from about noon until about just after 6 p.m. local time when we had finished our last live shot. And I guess what we hadn't quite surmised was exactly how bad it had gotten south of us on Pacific Coast Highway. And that's the way we came in to get to our spot to cover the fire. And we knew that we had heard reports that the flame jumped the highway, but
that house was on
I guess we had not seen with our own eyes just exactly what that meant and what that looked like for us getting out of there. So at the end of the night, I We pulled up to a fire truck and kind of waved at a firefighter and said, "Hey, where do you think is the best way for us to leave, to get out of here?" He kind of shook his head at us and said, "Well, I guess you go south." And so that's what we did.
Oh my God, did you see that building there? Here, like, look in this area.
And so that's what we did.
Look at that.
Pretty quickly realizing that there were flames on both sides of the highway. There were embers flying over the lanes of the highway. I spotted an emergency vehicle and decided our best bet is to just follow that car, to follow right behind him as closely as possible. If he's driving, then he's probably knowing the best way out. So as we're driving behind this emergency vehicle, I'm hearing an explosion on my right. There are houses on fire right up against the road on the left. And as I mentioned, embers flying. And so at this point, Rosemary, I'm just holding my breath. And I can feel the heat from inside the car, just watching the embers fly across the windshield. So not ideal. In that kind of... we get put on a lot of of risky assignments, and in this situation, we have to take a calculated risk for the best way to leave. And I think, thankfully we got out of there, and we got a real look at just the level of destruction and really the fear that a lot of those residents might be feeling.
How did it spread so fast? Is it pure just wind? Because this happened all in the space of like a couple hours, I think. It started in the bushes and it's just made its way into like residential areas.
If they're looking at those images on the news, if they've evacuated, I can't imagine. They're wondering if their house is the next one on fire, if they have anything to go home to.
Our thanks to Natasha and her team. Joining me now is Ariel Cohen, meteorologist in charge at the National Weather Service in Los Angeles. Ariel, we are so lucky to have you right now. We know you guys are extremely busy. But if you could just help us and our viewers around the world really understand what this combination of different factors has been that made this fire get so bad in the first place and affect tens of thousands of residents.
First of all, I want to say that this is a very heartbreaking situation. It is incredibly sad to see what society is going through during this exceptionally destructive event. I can't emphasize it enough. On behalf of the National Weather Service, our hearts go out to everyone who is being impacted by these fires. We're in the midst of a destructive windstorm right now, a once in a decade or 2 decade type of wind event.
Is it once in a decade? I mean, it happened a few years ago, didn't it? With these fires.
Winds now gusting upwards of nearly 100 miles per hour across the San Gabriel Mountains.
Oh my God.
And the nearby foothills, and then also across the Santa Monica Mountains, extending across parts of the Los Angeles Basin area, where we're having trees coming down, significant structural damage already occurring, and it will only get worse overnight. And then with the very dry air mass that settled over the area, a very rare, volatile combination of parameters has come together to fuel the explosive development of
this fire.
Horrific wildfires across the Los Angeles area, all the way towards the coast, across the Santa Monica Mountains and towards Malibu.
This is kind of reminding me of Hurricane Idalia. Like, the people whose houses burned down here, are they covered by insurance? Like, if they've got a home insurance policy, is that going to cover this? Or is it purely the city, the goodwill of the city or the federal government? Like, how does that work?
This is a particularly dangerous situation, a rare category of red flag warning that we use for the worst of the worst conditions that can come together to create the rapid spread of fires that spot miles in advance and spread rapidly, raging paths of destruction. We're seeing that come to fruition. And, when we're making these forecasts, when we're making these messages, these correspond to real world impacts. And it's so sad to see what's going on. And we urge everyone to stay at a high state of readiness as we head through the overnight hours into tomorrow, as this will only get worse.
It is absolutely heartbreaking, the idea that the worst could possibly still be ahead for so many people, Ariel. And we certainly join you in wishing so many of these people just a safe way out. I wonder, some of the surrounding regions, you know the area. For those viewers that are watching, those viewers who are listening right now.
Honestly, I've never seen footage like that before. Like the wind combined with the fires. It's almost like a fire tornado, almost like a firestorm. It is different to, I think, the wildfires of a few years back where, you know, maybe it's just the footage that I've seen now makes it different in my mind. Honestly, if you're in the area, please stay safe. Genuinely, my thoughts are with you guys. Please, like, let me know how you're coping if you're in the area. If you have family in the area, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.